Ready?
Born ready. Let's do this.
Okay, our first big interview. About over a year ago, I promised Jenny that come the time we were doing our first interviews for EquiRatings, it would be Eventing Nation. So Jenny sent us a list of questions and we'll move through them as quick as we can. Firstly, how did you get into eventing?
I got into eventing because I was convinced and dragged into it by my older sisters and my parents. Loved kicking the ponies around, left my poor mother to look after them and do all that sort of stuff. And then I suppose the serious end of eventing, the international stuff, all came from Dad, who had a successful career and would most famously be known for winning the individual silver medal at Kentucky in 1978.
Never mentions it.
No, he never talks about that. Talks about it every day. Mike Tucker loves to mention that one as well, actually, as I'm galloping around courses these days. So I'm not really Sam Watson, I'm John Watson's son, who John Watson did X, Y and Z, including 1978 or 1578, sometime back in the black and white era.
Yeah. Now I kind of followed you in. EquiRatings, we've arrived in.
And that's where that's where we're at.
Where did we meet? Myself and Sam were in school together.
Do you ever thought I was weird in school?
Yeah.
I find that hard to
We
believe.
were in different groups, but we ended up living together in college, and I've said it a couple of times recently, it was actually probably through a shared love of darts. We used to spend many an afternoon playing darts together.
Who would be the better darts player?
Yeah, we won't dwell on it, but I remember how we actually met was we used to have bets all the time, constantly on everything that we could think of, but darts was a primary one, and we used to, the loser of our darts matches would have to drink often a bottle of red wine.
Probably not appropriate for a business conversation. I think we'll move on.
Could have been on like Tuesday afternoon in college. So it was holding your head over a toilet bowl.
Definitely ongoing there.
was probably
all untrue.
That was the foundation of our
We were
studious
people. We were studious, serious students back in college. But that's where it
How did we start in business? It was never a plan, you know. It wasn't anything we set out to do.
Never planned to start a business.
No, we were in very different. We both did very different things in college. Sam was MSIS, Management Science Information Systems. It was maths, stats. What else?
Maths and stats,
yeah,
and computer programming, which is actually I suppose on a serious note, all the skills that started this company. And I suppose combining that with the eventing, with being an event writer, that's sort of where the idea of EquiRatings began. Doom was a lawyer at the time, studying to be a lawyer, but always
finished. I was more than study. I was qualified when working for 3 years by the time EquiRatings started.
We were actually really good for like best mates for for the last 8 years. When you got over thinking that I'm actually not weird, best mates, but never really 100% knew what the other one was doing.
Actually, funnily enough, EquiRatings is still kind of run that way. We've two very separate sides of the business. Sam manages the data, all the numbers that come in and out, all the output is all driven by maths, stats, and very detailed statistical analysis. I run the commercial side of the business, all the contracts, generally making sure that we're delivering for clients in whatever field it is. And the skill sets probably has been one of the major reasons for the success of the company so far. We kind of let the other one get on with what they're doing, and we don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, I mean, I do the stats and Derm does the business, and that's where it is. And it's actually really good for the two of us to be so comfortable in our own skill sets. And we both know that we couldn't, all jokes aside, as much as we wind each other up, we know that the EquiRatings couldn't function.
We couldn't do what the other one does.
Unfortunately.
Why are we bringing it to the eventing world, or where do we feel EquiRatings can get the eventing world? I suppose for me, when I was standing back looking at where the gap was in the market, when Sam's been working on this probably since about 2008, his own final year project back when we were in college together was on eventing and eventing numbers, and he was very much analysing his own performance via numbers back then. Probably had about 4 years where we were going down different routes, but the conversations held consistently about what the opportunity was there. And I think, having seen that gap, for me, the Moneyball of Michael Lewis and the Hugh Grant, or the Brad Pitt film, Dave Brailsford and British cyclists, you were seeing stats, and of course the American market will know stats long before they were there. I mean, Bill James was doing Moneyball 20 years ago in baseball. That opportunity was there for us, and eventing is just such a perfect sport.
Yeah, I would have always just been reeling off these things to Doom about how these things were interesting, and that this is where the top people were performing. This is how it's quite close. And Doom was sort of saying, yeah, but surely you can get these, these numbers are being done somewhere by someone, and not that we.
I couldn't believe that this wasn't available to the sport.
And coming from a business world, everything is governed by numbers. And to be honest, we're an Olympic sport, and we're Olympic athletes, and most other athletes, their day is governed by numbers.
Business. I mean,
yeah, it's a combination. It's the calories you're taking in. It's the time that you're doing things at, and it's the numbers that you're hitting when you're on the track and you're performing in your sport.
And you just need, it's become a bit cliched, but that idea of what gets measured gets managed. And for us, both at a performance level for athletes, and also at the very top of the sport, those decisions that are being made to that impact on the future of the sport, for us it's really important that there's very definite, measurable targets in place that people can hit, and know when you're doing well. If there isn't a number there that you can set as what will success be this year, then you'll never know if you're being successful. So for us, there was a huge gap there. There was a huge opportunity there. With the skills we had, we knew we could take it to market. And I suppose that's what's so exciting. That's what we're looking forward to so much.
Yeah, I think when we launched the business certainly to the public back at Badminton this year, we had a goal that we would basically just see what the eventing world thought of it. We'd run it by our friends. They thought that this was pretty cool. We launched it at Badminton, and we had the plan, the website ready to go live a few months ago, actually, to just let the public kind of have a bit of everything. But since then, Jim touched on it. It's the big pictures, actually the big issues in the sport, and the things that will hopefully keep eventing in the Olympics. The big decisions around the sport, and a little bit with safety, a little bit just with how scoring systems work and all that sort of stuff.
We're very much trying to use the numbers to add another dimension to decision making. To add another layer that you can take in to say, and we've also got this to back up our decision, or we've considered the numbers, but still our intuition is bringing us in this area.
Everybody's, again, it really is just it's a support, isn't it? And I think for all our prospective clients, that's what we bring, is a lot of the time just reassurance, whether it's riders or whether it is people making big decisions about the sport. They're mostly making the right decisions. They have a good instinct. They know what they're looking for. They know what they want to achieve. But we just provide that little bit of a backup. And sometimes, and I'm always surprised by it, to be honest, on a weekly basis, I have an idea that, this is likely to be the outcome when I run a search on something. And sometimes it isn't. So,
yeah, but it's being able to challenge that. And I guess me not being from an eventing background is an addition to that, because I don't have any historical.
Dear likes to ask the question why a lot. So which is actually, and again, it's a great thing for the business, because
it actually works.
And everything should be questioned and should be backed up by the numbers.
I guess we should probably touch on where our website is, so that there's no area. There's in terms of what we do and who we do it for. We haven't launched a website yet. The public offering, it's ready to go, which is a little bit frustrating. It's built, it's bells and whistles, it has everything. But for us, since May, we have found so much opportunity, I suppose, in different areas. This year has been very much about trying to tie up those revenue streams, to make sure we have the right people in place with the right contract so that they know what they're getting, isn't it? It's trying to make sure that the service for the end user is as good as it can be. The website has everything. It's likely, I would think, to be January 2016, and you can see we will have the performance side aimed at, individual riders, whether you're 500 in the world or top 10. How can you improve? What area can you improve in? Where are you trending in your dressage, your show jumping? How do you break up that final score into its component parts to bring insight, for your performance?
We really appreciate, and it does happen again on a weekly basis, that we get feedback, and that is that's what drives the business as well. It is obviously us that have brought it to where it is. We're really happy with where it's at, and we're very busy looking after clients now, which is good. But that feedback as to what really interests people, what people want to know, and sometimes it's quite personal. People will say, "Oh, can you find out X, Y, and Z?" But that then leads to something. That leads to a good idea, saying, "You know what? There's a demand for that."
Yeah.
People need to know more. I think people need to understand a lot more about the sport. Riders themselves, owners, just general sports fans.
Yeah, fans. I mean, it's so important. Every other sport has this,
Yeah.
Like, we're a big sport and we have a huge fan base, and we should be thinking like that. This service should be here. I couldn't believe that it wasn't here. So from the launch of the website, at the moment it's kind of private client work. People are calling us up. We're lucky that we probably didn't need the website to bring us those initial clients. But I'm really looking forward to the sport, EquiRatings being there for the sport, to be able to say, yes, our sport does the exact same as what other sports are doing. Baseball has it, rugby, football, everything has it now. And thank God for us now, eventing will have it. Yeah. I suppose, what have we learned from starting a business together? How have you managed top level eventing and family and?
Yeah, that was a big worry. In that, well, I love all three. I love obviously my family, and
good start.
Good start, and being an international rider, and then the business as well. Like the numbers do, as everyone in my family and Darren can testify. I can stay up till 2:30 in the morning writing code to find out the answer to a question. But your concern then, which sort of popped in really at the beginning of the season, was could I maintain a good performance in all three? Could I?
Yeah, no, you've done well sharing those three.
Yeah, I mean EquiRatings has just won an award for Irish Best Young Entrepreneur. Very much thanks to Darren, because again, he does the paperwork that gets us into things like that. These things go over my head, and as we said, this is what makes us so comfortable, is that there would be no business without Darren. There would be Sam and stats, and maybe anyone who knew Sam might get some stats every now and then. But so the business is thriving, and that is really thanks to Darren driving it. The eventing got my highest world ranking. Yeah, well, there we go.
I don't think we would have a business without the numbers. But enough of our praise to both of us. I mean, you've had a great year eventing. I think you're now the highest ranked Irish rider this year. You're right up there in the world rankings.
Yeah, it's been good, and again,
family haven't left you.
My family haven't left me. The boys are good. The boys are still saying Dada. They know who I am. And Sparks runs everything. She's incredible. She does she manages the family
and show on the road
and the horses. So it's been good. I have to say, I feel pretty privileged to have three amazing things that I do love so much. So
yeah, no, it's been a great year. We're lucky here in Ballybulger. The business is based here. We've our own offices here. The yard is not far away, so Sam can easily be on a horse 1 minute and and be back with me in the office if I need him for something, and of course the family around as well. So I mean, it works well in that regard.
Yeah, it's a lovely atmosphere to
I mean, that was a huge part for me of leaving the world I was in. I was in Dublin. I was in a very fast-paced, defined career path, and it really boiled down to what makes you happy and what I really wanted to do with my life and what I would look back and be proud of. And I think this will be it. I think the possibility of really creating a revolutionary difference in the sport, I don't think that's too big a thing to say with this. I believe we can do that. And to be doing it with your best friend, I mean, it's hard to top that. That's why I'm here, and I'm delighted to be here. I mean, the change for me wasn't difficult when you put it like that.
It's pretty emotional.
Thank you. What did we find were our standout, just to finish up? What we love to find this year, when we look back early in the year. I know for me, Pia Munker's dressage was just so much fun.
I was going to say, you love picking out the non-obvious, and Pia was definitely one of those. Okay, she's a young German rider and they're excelling at everything in the sport at the moment, but always.
She's doing dressage. She's trending in the dressage phase in the 20s, and it's not, it's 2 and 3 star. It's over 10 international runs. And
she averages in the 20s in her dressage. So
she's done low 20s, hasn't she? She's done that. Louis M is her her top horse, and
there's only in the world this year we're getting up close to 20,000 international results. There's only been 10 scores below 30, so in the 20s, and Pia has half of those. So she's really setting. I
really love the standout ones, the less obvious. You are always blown away by the young ones. Jung.
Thank you for the clarification.
Michael Young.
The young ones. He is. I mean, everybody now obviously sees what he's winning, but the numbers that he's been producing, and it starts off
consecutive. You did the consecutive for me.
Yeah, well, last night we were looking at it at CIC 3-star level. He's now done 50 consecutive clear rounds cross country. And that's rolling, so his next one is going to be number 51.
Was that Aachen, I think? Aachen was his 50th?
Aachen was his last CIC 3-star. It was his 50th consecutive cross-country clear. Now, the closest any other riders got to that is 26, that they've had 26 consecutive clears.
And from an American point of view, what have we got for our eventing nation?
Marilyn Little has kind of stole. She's not doesn't...
Scandalous, is it?
Yeah, she's a normal size string of horses, and she doesn't run them, crazy often, but she's double figures now on wins. But the mare RF Scandalous, she won 5 consecutive internationals in a row, and again, only one horse in our system.
Should have been 6, eh?
Should have been 6. She apparently had a pretty bad stumble in the show jumping. Marilyn went flying.
She was still first, second, third, and fourth.
First, second, third, and fourth. She could have been first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So she's been from we love these little records, and Marilyn's been setting those this year, and then Buck has been setting. I mean, he's out there a lot, so he's over 50 runs, international runs in the season.
Oliver Townend was leading the appearances last year with 72.
72 is the record.
Was he could beat that. He could beat that his own record this year, but Buck is right up there. I mean, I don't think there's
Buck is chasing. He's not going to catch him. He's going to be about 15 behind.
But I don't think not very many riders in the world have ever gone above 50 international appearances in a year.
It was the record before Oliver went to 72 last year. So that just shows how. I mean, anyone over this side of the pond sees how frequently Oliver is out there competing at all levels, and he's certainly he's smashing the records for appearances. So. These little things are.
Anyway, we better tidy up. Over and out. Jenny and Eventing Nation, thanks for having us on. We're looking forward to getting more information over to you guys soon. We're hoping to be in the American market in 2016, where you'll see us at.
Yeah, guys, if anything sparks your interest, if you're a rider, if you're an event organizer, whoever you are, if you're just a fan and you want to know more stuff, get involved, get in touch, let us know what you think. He thought I was weird in school. Who do you think's weirder? I definitely think it's him now. So these are the things we need to know. These are the big important things we need to know. But seriously, you guys will drive this business as well.
Finish how Jenny would finish. Do you read Eventing Nation properly?
Yeah, go eventing.
Good. Go EquiRatings.
Go EquiRatings. Thanks, guys.